Hello people, this is Dr. Wang here recording. In this class, we're going to do our textbook case 20. It's about a Target Corporation. And we all know this company because we usually do grocery shopping, and we go to Walmart, Target, and Costco. So definitely we're familiar with this company. And even around St. Xavier, there are a couple of Targets. So at the corporate level, we try to make solid decisions for the company's financial health. Your textbook basically provides a case on that. So basically, Target had a lot of locations around the country, and it wants to open up a new location, and it needs to do some capital budgeting to see whether the new location is profitable or not, and most importantly, whether it's more profitable compared to the existing target location. So not only you need to calculate the NPV and IRR as the judging criteria for the success of the new location, but also you need to compare all the financials of the new location against the prototype or the existing average to see whether the new location is a breakthrough or it is not that desirable or what kind of status it is. Okay, so right here is some simple numbers I created. It's not exactly provided by the textbook, but I just put it here for simplicity purpose. So that's easy to do, easy to derive, easy to calculate, and easy to compare. This capital budgeting case is different from what you learned in the principal class before. And we are going to learn some new techniques. So these new techniques are called a hurdle adjustment, and also risk and opportunity adjustment, and also another one is called a variance to prototype analysis. Okay. So we're going to do 3 new types of analysis and see whether and how to use them and whether this new location is more beneficial or not. Okay, so here is the provided data. So let's see the prototype basically our existing average. So you have the sales occurred annually, and you have the gross margin. You know, the gross margin basically is sales minus cost of goods sold, which is also variable cost, and then divided by sales. And we have done gross margin calculation multiple times before, and it was also part of your midterm exam. And you also have this fixed expenses for construction. The target company needs to find a location and build up the store, and excuse me, and also need to pay for land, pay for wages, and pay for other expenses, and wages and other expenses are occurring on an annual basis. And it also has a duration of 10 years. It also has a cost of capital, either borrow from a bank or issue a public bond or just to pay the shareholders. So on average, that's 8% cost of capital. So if you look at the new location here, it has a sales of 250, and is better than prototype, of course. And also the gross margin here, however, is not that great as compared to the prototype. The construction cost is lower, the land cost is higher, the wages higher, and other expenses would be lower. So just based on the comparison of all the numbers, some are better, some are not as great. So you need to calculate the project NPV, net present value for that, and then IRR. So both of these measures incorporate both of these, all of these factors, and develop a finalized numbers for us to compare. Okay, so in your textbook, there's another method that's very easy to do. It's called a BP method. So B means better, and the P means poorer. Okay, so in the textbook, the BP comparison is very simple. So you just need to subtract the new from the prototype, and then to see whether the new is better or poorer. Let's see, the sales is 250 in the new location. So if we use 250 minus 200, so that's a 50 better. So that's it, basically. And for gross profit margin, if you use new minus the prototype, then that's a negative 5% poorer. Okay, and for all the expenses, it is a different story. Okay, it is different story because for expenses, the more expensive is worse, the less expenses is better. So you should use the prototype minus the new location to get the result for BP comparison. All right, so this 25 is basically telling you the new location is better off than the prototype by $25 just because it costs less. And then I can just simply drag it for all the other expenses. So land is poorer because it costs more, wages is poorer, it costs more, but other expenses is better because it costs less. All right, so you have some positives, you also have some negatives. So it's not a very, it's very early to make the call whether the new location is worthwhile or not. As I said, we need to calculate the NPV. All right, so we need to do the NPV calculation for both the prototype and the new location. Just bear with me. Let me just type in the prototype. All right, and how many years do you have? Starting from year 0, and just to drag it all the way to year number 10. All right, since this projects last for 10 years. And then you have sales here, and you also have some other costs. Gross margin, if we can use the gross margin, then we can calculate the gross profit. Okay, and then you have a land, which occurs just right here in year 0, and you also have construction, which is also occurring at year 0. All right, so for the gross profit basically is sales multiplied by the gross margin. So let me just put sales first on the top from year 1, and then drag it all the way to year 10. And the gross margin is 40%. I need to lock this and then multiply it by this sales. So basically for $200 sales, I'm going to end up with $80 gross profit. Okay, so I'm sorry, this should be locked to the sales here. Okay, the sales above, not the sales in this data zone. And then you have wages and other expenses. Let me just put it here. So wages and other expenses, just log them in here. All right, and then drag them all the way to the right until the last year. Okay, so after we put other expenses, there should be depreciation expenses as well. Okay, so the depreciation expense, for simplicity, let me leave a 0 ending book value for everything, for all the construction of the store. So this is 100, then my depreciation would be 100 divided by 10. Okay, that's a $10. All right. Do you know how I get 100? It's the construction cost divided by the number of years. That's a 10. All right. So now let me find out my operating income, EBIT. So it comes from the gross profit minus wages minus other expenses minus depreciation. All right. So this is my EBIT, and also I will need to deduct my taxes. Let's say my tax rate is 40% multiplied by this EBIT. Even though it's called earning before interest and the taxes, but I do not really incorporate interest as part of the cash flow. okay, because that's the protocol in the capital budgeting process. And I mean, the normal procedure. I don't want you to be confused with the word prototype here. Okay. And then you find out your net income. So you have 52 earning minus this taxes. Okay. And then you need to add back your depreciation to get operating income. Okay. So you just add net income to your depreciation, and then that's it. Okay, and let's see your ending book value is 0, and there's no salvage cash flow. Let's see, no salvage cash flow, and also 40% tax rate. Okay, let me put it here. Okay, so now if you look at your free cash flow, basically it is the cash flow occurring right now, which is the summation of a land and construction. All right, and then you have the operating income. I'm sorry, this should be operating cash flow. Operating income is EBIT. This should be operating cash flow. Okay, and then I'll drag it all the way. All right, to get the NPV, you will use the NPV function of Excel, and you have an 8% cost of capital as discount rate. You put all the future cash flows here, okay, and then you add the upfront cost or initial outlay into the NPV. All right, I know it's give me that, it looks weird, so all I need to do is to decrease decimal and then make it just say numbers, just general numbers. Okay. And for IRR, that's actually pretty easy. Just use IRR and then circle all the numbers here. And then you get a 16%. Well, is this a project acceptable? I mean, the prototype? Yes, because NPV is greater than 0 and IRR is higher than cost of capital. And then we are done. All right, I want you guys to spend some time here to get the NPV and IRR for the new location. Okay, so I'm going to pause here, all right, and you guys will do the NPV and IRR for the new location based on what I just created here. Okay, I hope you guys get the same number as I do here, and I hope I'm correct too. So let's check. So the sales for the new location is 250, and the gross margin is 35% of that. And then the land cost 120, the construction cost 75, and the wages are 12, other expenses are 6, depreciation is 7.5. And the thing is, I have to ask for forgiveness because in the previous exercise, I did not link the depreciation calculation to the data above. So you really need a reference sales for this. So for your prototype, then let me just zoom out. For your prototype, here's the change I want you guys to make. Please, if you miss this part, then your number will be a little different. So the depreciation here is instead of the 100 typed in number, I use this one, 100. I borrow the number there and then put it here. Okay, and then drag it all the way to the right. All right, looks like the number does not change, but I do put in the formulas. So when the construction changed here, then the NPV will change through this depreciation. All right. So what I did is a grouping function offered by Excel. So that basically provides the expanded bill and a collapsed bill. All right. So then I check for the EBIT. It's the same formula, taxes, same formula and same 40% tax rate. Net income is difference, operating cash flow, you add depreciation back, and then your free cash flow is this. All right, so now let me expand the whole thing. Let me just cancel the grouping function. Just say go to data, you see group, and then you have a group here. You can do grouping or you can do ungroup. So let me just ungroup everything. So assume everything is in place right now, and also let me write this part. Depreciation should be the construction divided by number of years. Okay, just put a note here. Okay, and then I can basically hide these two zones. One is for prototype and one is for new location. So that's too much numbers in between. So I just select these all rows, and then I go to grouping, and then just hit group, and that's it. So if I hit number 2 here, that's the expanded field. If I hit number 1 here, then that part is hidden. Okay, not deleted, it's hidden. Okay, so if I change any of the numbers here, let's see if your place is in the right place. Let's say if I change the prototype from 200 to 230, then my NPV changed to 124 because everything is linked here. Okay, the gross profit would change and all this would change. And then I just recoup that back to 200. If I change my construction to 200 here, then you will see my not only the construction got changed here, and also the depreciation got changed. Do you see that? Because I make the construction linked to the depreciation. Okay, that's the new round of operation I did. I should have done it the first time. I'm sorry. Okay, so just recoup that. Okay, and if I change my construction to 300 here in the new location, then what you will see, the NPV got a very low, even negative, and IRR got very low too. So what happens here is in the new location, the new construction has 300, and also that puts some depreciation effect on the operating cash flow. Okay, so you add depreciation back at the end of the net income to get your operating cash flow. Okay, once again, if construction change, then depreciation should change too. All right.